Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and this is day 29. Today we are working with this sketch by Rochelle Spears, and I like the sketch, but I do go a little bit different than the sketch, and you're going to see that as I work here. So I'm working with a little bit more masculine colors today, simply because the photos that I am documenting, or the story that I'm documenting, is putting in a new water tank at our property and our cabin. And so the photos consist of my husband's truck with the huge water tank on the back, and then the installation of the water tank. So I wanted to go with the more masculine colors because, he's a guy, and why not? And there, I do pull in a green paper right here for the banners, and that does have a little bit of that peachy pink color to soften things up a little bit, but it's still not too feminine for my likings for this particular layout. Now I am going to go ahead and score down or cut down the center a little ways there to create the banner. I cut these at about 3 inches, so at just the 1.5 inch mark I just made that little splice, and then I could trim out to make that fishtail type design. Now here's where I go a little bit different from the sketch. I felt like the two banners were a little bit too disjointed, and I don't know if it's because my photos are a different arrangement than what's in the sketch, but I decided to add a third banner right in the middle in this peachy pink color, and I don't feel like that is too feminine because the design on it is a geometric design versus like a floral, or I don't know, maybe polka dots or something like that. That might, well, polka dots aren't really male or feminine, masculine or feminine, but the geometric makes it feel a little more masculine than maybe some of the other patterns might. So I'm happy with that. I like the way that it looks a lot better than I did with just the two, and so that makes me super happy. So he's got his truck there, and underneath that water tank is a huge load of base rock, and so we ended up unloading all of that base rock into a form and creating a platform for this water tank to sit on. And it wasn't very difficult to do. It just took a little bit of time and a little bit of muscle, but we did it ourselves with the help of my son and a couple of his friends, and my daughter and my niece, and it all went really well. And the water tank is actually very light in comparison to how it looks, but it is just really big and awkward. So that wasn't a big problem unloading it or anything like that. So then I decided to pull out these Tim Holtz stamps, and I got these at Tuesday Morning for super cheap, and I've used them. This will be my second or third time using them, and they come in very handy because they're tall and they're narrow. The original alphas that I was going to use were tall, but they were too wide, so I couldn't get the entire title on there as I wanted. So I went to these ones, and they work really well. And these are just actually foam stamps, and I haven't had any problem with them, and they're actually easy to re-stamp over because you can see through them, and they're solid. It's like, I don't know, I don't have any problem. I did have to re-stamp stuff because my ink pad was a little bit on the drier side than what I really wanted, and so I did have to stamp it more than once. And also I wasn't really sure of the foam because it's a little more porous than, like, say, a red rubber stamp or an acrylic stamp. So you can see me there. I just restamped the W. I didn't restamp everything, just the W. And so my title is going to be Water Tank Woes, and I've already pretty much told you what we did about the water tank there. And it is actually a much larger water tank than the other one that we had. You can see the other one in the photo behind my husband. It is silver, and it's maybe like half the size. So we were really happy to get the new one in because it is it's way better to have a lot more water on hand, especially during fire season. So here I'm just going to line up my letters again, and what I am doing there is that acrylic block doesn't have any markings on it, but I have lined it up with my mat underneath, which has grid lines on it. So I lined up the acrylic block with one line horizontally, and then I lined up the letters with the next line above that horizontally, so everything would be nice and straight on the block. And I like how that looks. And then I was trying to figure out like stamping or some embellishments because I didn't want it to look too feminine, and I didn't really have a lot of things from this particular collection left. I'm just down to like the odds and ends, and so I pulled out my handy dandy Stamp Market labeled dies and stamped those in Eucalyptus from Catherine Pooler. So I like how that looks. I'm just going to cut those out and create a little bit of a journaling spot. Now the two labels that I have on there currently, I'm going to take those off and put those back in my green bin, and I'm going to use these ones from the Stamp Market because I needed a third one for that upper area, and I didn't have a third one of those other ones that I originally had on the layout. So that's what prompted me to make that change. And so then I'm playing around with some peachy pink embellishments as well. And I thought I would use that piece that says hooray up there because it was like, hooray, we're getting a new water tank. But I don't end up using it. I end up using just these small bits and pieces because I didn't want the emphasis to be on those peachy pink pieces. I just want those to be a little small added detail. And I did like that camera there, and I had the camera had like a turquoise circle in the middle, but I had that little round piece that looks like it has an asterisk, a white asterisk on it, and so I just layered that up in the what would be the lens of the camera, and I like how that looks. It's covering up the turquoise aqua color of that camera because I don't have that color on this layout, and I didn't want to introduce a new color. So then I pull out some leaves in different textures and different colors, and I'm going to put a little pairing, or it's not really a pairing because there's going to be three. I'm going to put 3 little leaves in each area, but they're going to be different colors and different textures. And so I like how that looks. And I am just going to add some lines, sketchy lines, to these 2 pieces because my third one has the sketchy lines already at the top. And those are just watercolored leaves that I made myself. So those are super easy to make, just with a little bit of watercolor and a watercolor paper, and then you draw the lines yourself. And the shape is an easy shape. It's not like a really fancy shape, so that makes it easy. So I'm going to add, these are like, I don't know what kind of leaves these are, but I'm just going to add some lines to those since my other ones have lines on them. Now I don't add lines to the third leaf because those are actually a fabric-y leaf. I don't know if fabric-y is a word, but it's a fabric leaf, and I felt like if I added a line to it with the Sharpie, it would bleed, and I didn't want that, so I just left those, the third leaf, plain. I'm going to go ahead and adhere everything down. I end up switching sides of where this bottom embellishment cluster is going to be, just because I didn't want everything on the same side. The one in right under the title had to be on the right hand side because there is no room on the left, and so I just kind of like switched this one up. But I don't want to cover my husband up in the photo, so I just kind of tuck that camera underneath a little bit rather than having it over the top of the leaves. I accidentally put adhesive on the wrong side of this little peach piece of paper, so I was just using my adhesive eraser to remove that. And then like I said, I'm going to tuck these under, and I do use my liquid adhesive to adhere those at the bottom. I don't adhere them towards the tip of the leaf. Sometimes I will put adhesive, foam adhesive underneath the tip of the leaf just to keep some added dimension, and it doesn't get smashed in my book that way. And then lastly, I'm going to add some enamel dots to the layout, and that's going to finish it off. So make sure you go check out all of the other ladies that are playing along for day 29 of Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 days of sketches, and I have played along all month. I will have another video for you tomorrow, and it will be the last day, so that's kind of exciting. It's been so much fun playing along with everyone. I hope that you have been inspired to look at sketches in a new light and maybe play along as well. You can join the Facebook group that she has set up. It's in the links below, and you can share your work there. Here come the close-ups. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.